Good evening, Star Wars fans. Justin Miyashiro, jagteq Hazardville, here with Joe Olson, arebelspy, our reigning world champion. How are you doing today, Joe?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good also. I'm ready to watch a GEMPC match. We have the top four matchup here between adamtrunzo and jokerking. They have already started, so we're going to jump right in. Um, I did watch your match against jokerking in the last round.
Yeah.
Um, uh, that was quite a match to watch, actually. Um,
Which both games are you referring to?
I think I definitely saw the second game. I
The Walker Step versus Court
Yeah, the watch set first court,
Alistair. Yeah, yeah.
which is not what we have here. So Adam is on ISB operations, while Joker King is on HITCO. Last hurrah for this HITCO version. Um,
hmm Errata is coming out in 3 days this Friday. A whole slew of errata, among them multiple cards in Hitco
yeah, I would.
and ISB as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I would expect it's probably cards in both these decks because I would be surprised if Adam was not running Mustafar, given that he's starting quad drive yards. Although he also has
Yeah.
the established control. So
Yeah, but I think we'll probably see Mustafar. I think the Stalker is probably in the ISB deck, and that's getting a change.
yep.
Um, it is interesting the location that Adam started, the Coruscant system rather than the 2.0 site, meaning he doesn't have that vulnerability as a Drain 3 location.
Mm.
And it indicates usually a more space oriented version of the deck.
That would have also been my assumption with starting established control on top of quad drive yards.
Yeah, establish is interesting because usually you wouldn't play that in a more space oriented because you're already going to use Quat to pull like Mustafar, Kashyyyk, and maybe even Bespin if you're doing a free executor. Fondor doesn't, I mean, it gets you a system slightly faster, an extra system, but a lot of times it's for the force generation, if you're playing, um, if you got some walkers, guys in walkers, but it can really make your like that course on docking bay a liability. It's not going to be any problem for Hitco to satisfy Coward or anything like that when all your docking bays are now battlegrounds for them.
Yeah.
But it does look like he's just using it to accelerate his activation real quick
Yeah,
using the establish
he
and
got
quad.
the Coruscant docking bay with Imperial Arrest Order, got the Fondor system with Establish, and then Mustafar with Quat, I believe with Quat, yeah, and then pulling the Mustafar castles. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume there's like probably one more docking bay in there, and then maybe another system. I don't even
Yeah,
know.
probably Kashyyyk and a Death Star docking bay. And probably a spaceport docking bay, some kind of battleground docking bay, or the blockade flagship docking bay that's quite expensive to move to and from, that sort of thing. He probably does want some battleground
Yeah.
um, site in case there's a Yavin 4 ops or whatever. Uh, I'd have to favor Hitco in this because um, they're going to put less cards out. They're going to start getting solid drains in um, at their Ewok village once Prophecy relocates over. Probably the Death Star 2 site. And ISB, I mean, they can get out Chiranu. He didn't start Indoor Shield though, so it's going to be harder. He played Command. Who did he grab with that Command?
Uh, he pulled.
He pulled Chiranu. Okay, he
Okay.
did. Um, so he knows it's going to be a drain race, and he's planning on setting up that extra force drain
Yeah.
bonus pretty quick.
Yeah, my inclination without having a lot of experience in the matchup, even though I played a fair bit of Hitco, is I feel like I would prefer to be the Hitco player in this matchup. Um, I mean, my side of it though is that I found it fairly easy to tech Hitco for ISB. It was like including like a lay of Alderaan
Mhm.
was almost enough to make the drain race very difficult for them.
Right.
Um,
It depends if um, Adam has like an enter the bureaucrat
yeah,
that could help.
yeah. ISB also interesting because it's one of the matchups where Anakin Skywalker V is very, very good. I played a lot of HITCO against mains, and Anakin Skywalker V is fine, but doesn't move the needle a whole lot against like a deck full of Inquisitors and Darth Vader. But when your important characters are like Tarkin and Agent Callus and things, characters who you can cancel with Anakin Skywalker V, that card
Mm.
plays up a lot. So he just
Yeah.
went the turn one Luke. He did play Anakin Skywalker a couple times because he pulled the sight and he moved Prophecy over.
Yeah, that's a pretty good draw for him. It's going to let him drain more faster and get the other battleground out. He opted not to retrieve turn one with his flip side, and that's because he can always do it next turn, and he won't have taken any damage in the meantime. So there's no point doing it a turn earlier. Literally the only thing that could change is if Adam deployed a ship and got cowered out, and Joker King didn't go to a second battleground, but you can see that didn't happen. That it would be a pretty unlikely move. So saving that extra force is a better early turn play.
Yeah, Joker or Adam is just drawing up here. He deployed the Death Star to Docking Bay, and now he's just digging for something. He's up to 17 in hand.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he just hasn't found a ship and he's just trying to draw for a Star Destroyer. When you're only packing like 3 or 4 of them, you can just get a bad draw and not find one.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I would assume it'd be like Stalker, Vengeance, possibly Executor, right?
right. So probably yeah. And I would assume multiple Death Squadron virtuals
Yeah.
to pull all those. And with Executor deploying -5 to Fondor, and it being pullable, yeah, I'd assume he's got 3 Death Squadron assignments and like 4 ships.
Yeah. I like the careful play by Joker King pulling the anti-missing shield. Because I believe it does work at this exterior interior site.
Hmm.
Or rather, the there's something up with the image on this because that is the legacy version of this card. Um, but
Oh, that's funny because I'm not using the new interface,
oh, and it's showing correctly.
and it's
Yeah,
showing correctly. It just says it's canceled, rather than the missing is treated as 0. So
yeah,
something that's odd because you'd think the new interface would pull from the same image on the site. Like,
yeah. I mean, I would assume that it's related to the addition of the legacy format that happened with the last
hmm,
update or two. Because I know there was some discussion. Um, Oh, Adam lost a Guri from reserve deck to that drain, which suggests that we're looking at the Forced Servitude build.
yeah, which is annoying for Joker King because Forced Servitude's just going to go in Yoda's hut and it's going to be uncancelable.
Yeah,
And then Guri, well, less so Guri, but more 5d6 will be pitched. His forfeit 5 will cover that drain of 3, and then it'll get retrieved with the backside of the ISB objective. So we're going to see a real grind here as 5d6 covers damage. And then, whereas if Joker King knew that was coming, he just could have skipped deploying Yoda's hut, activated a little less this game, and there's nowhere for Forced Servitude to go. It has to deploy on opponent's location. So any of the light side locations, either
right.
JCC or Ewok Village, it's easily cancelable, but not with Yoda's hut out.
Yeah, I'll say that was one of the things too that I like for having played very against very little ISB. My hitco was like kind of attacked really hard for ISB because I was playing an altar also.
Hmm.
Um, I
Yeah,
think
Alto would be
yeah,
good
just
against Force.
like just heard about this or heard about the Force Servitude build and was terrified of it. So I've like a Lay of Alderaan and a Force Servitude or a Lay of Alderaan and an altar, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was probably too much. But although altar has applications because Hunt Down runs sense or Hunt Down V runs sense, so or can.
And it also can randomly cancel like a Tarkin's bounty when they go to deploy it, and you
Yeah,
have altar in hand.
yeah.
Something like that.
All
All right,
right.
so we're gonna see Vengeance and Shirinu. We'll see if Joker King is playing a spaceless Hitco or if he's squeezed in a few starships. I think in match play, having some ships is good in case they've sold out for some kind of all space deck.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see which way he decided to run with it.
My inclination would be if you were to fit space in, I would probably want to do flat casual Tantive.
Hmm. It depends on the rest of the deck. So if I would have Fly Casual Tanav if you're running solo and OG Ray. If you run an EPP Ray, I would probably do Hanshui Falcon
Mm.
and not run solo um,
Okay.
or Bowie. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
With if you've got EPP Ray and solo as your only pilots, Tanev isn't as good as it say used to be in Throne Room
Right.
because you don't have Anakin either. So without Anakin, without OG Ray, your pilots are a lot worse than they were back when Throne Room was running Tanev like casual. So we see an old school masterful move, which Joker King decides to sense because why not? No sack shield out. You might as well just cancel a card.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a matchup that's likely to revolve around interrupt
Right,
interactions anyway. So
right. Like maybe you sense a Death Squadron, or something like that,
yeah,
but you basically sense what you can when you can.
like the most impactful card might be like an Imperial Command,
Right, sure.
but
But especially if you know you have no space,
yeah,
then it's like, are they gonna have a general on the ground and be fighting me and limiting and
yeah.
um, now Adam's got to decide, is he gonna play a sack shield or does he need to save um he's probably not getting resistance. We haven't seen him pull Kashyyyk with quad drive yards. If he's just running these two systems, it's it's going to be a tough game for him. Even drain. I mean, he'll drain for 4 and retrieve 1 with his objective. He's going to have to really cover a lot of damage with the Force Servitude. But he didn't play a Force Servitude this turn, even after drawing up to 17. So that might have been one of the things he was looking for as well.
Yeah, that almost feels more likely. Just because I would imagine if you have 2 or 3 Death Squadron Star Destroyers and maybe like 2 Death Squadron assignments, I kind of feel like you
Hmm.
probably wouldn't need to draw that far to get a ship. Although I mean, I guess it's possible certainly, but I feel like finding
Yeah.
the Force Servitude was probably more what he was looking for. But yeah, then it's still weird that he didn't find it.
Right. If it was in the 2 force he spent for. Oh, no, because the turn he drew, it was his second turn.
Yeah,
And
he
all he did that turn was deploy a Death Star docking base. So he should have known what was in his force pile. But I do think he was digging for a ship because Vengeance isn't probably the one you deploy if that's better to attack with because the win battle text.
right.
Like I think you deploy Stalker just to have that out and start piling it if you got that in hand. And he didn't play a Death Squadron assignment, so he didn't draw one of those. So feels like he was probably just drawn for a ship. Lose a command and a Vandalay
Yeah, Joker King's
from the.
also still playing. He's playing around the possibility of Enter the Bureaucrats, I believe. So he didn't add to the drain
He
there.
did not. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think I like
exactly,
that.
Chris. Yeah.
Uh, you know, I guess one thing. So obviously, we haven't seen Fanfare come out to pull it. So he's just assuming that Adam either drew it opening hand or that was the card he was digging for. And it very well could have been the case that he pulled the Death Star docking base, saw his Enter the Bureaucrat was in his force pile, and just drew up for it.
Hmm.
Um, but do you fit in an Enter the Bureaucrat if you're running Force Servitude droids, or would you just run an extra 5d6? Okay, that
Yeah.
Lando seems overkill.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Lando of all characters, I don't know that I like there.
you got to pay that upkeep on. He's
Yeah.
really good in space. Like that indicates to me, Joker King has no space. Because if you've got Tanev, if you've got Han Chui Falcon, Lando's a perfect dude to go on either of those. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you've got to fight through commands and stuff, but he does something in space, unlike EPP Obi or whatever,
Yeah.
General Leia, sort of thing. Leia could if you had Padme with her, but
Right.
either way, Lando does something. So putting him on the ground doesn't feel super great. I'd also, if I were Joker King, be considering going to the second battleground,
Mm-hmm.
and you open yourself up for an attack, but then Adam's playing into your game. Then you attack him back, and you're going to be able to fight a lot better than he is in general.
Yeah. Yeah, that Lando just seems really curious. I don't.
Over cautious. Like, is he worried about Tarkin, Callus, and like three more dudes coming down? Because even then, you
He's got
feel
he
like,
he had an Anakin Skywalker in hand. He didn't even need to worry about that.
oh yeah, right.
um, yeah, I mean that's the other thing too is by not playing the Imperial Square, I kind of feel like it limits pretty severely. Well, all right, you'll have to tell me if I'm right about this, but I feel like it limits the amount to which ISB can beat you down. The trooper build that can put Gideon to the square and make everybody -1 can attack
Right,
a
right.
lot
You
harder
don't
on the
see
ground.
that. You can definitely be a little less safe on the ground.
Yeah,
You can feel a little safer and act a little more risky.
yeah,
Right, because it's not going to be Gideon and then a bunch of cheap troopers.
yeah. But
Um,
like, I don't even know if like having no idea really what's in Adam's hand. I don't know if I would even want to attack Yoda, Luke, even without the Lando, even without like another character there.
right, right. They're power 14 and a Destiny and a Saber.
Yeah,
What
and
are
then
you going to
like,
do into that? I mean, so at least the Yoda can move away over to the Death Star at some point, so it's just Luke and Lando. So,
mm,
and you'd probably want someone with Luke, so it's like, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, if I'm Adam, I'm taking that as a sign you probably don't have much space and going to spread pretty soon.
yeah. All right, so we got Evax and Vandalay to the Vengeance, which is still only 3 ISB agents. We're not flipped yet, but one would have to assume that he's gonna flip pretty soon here.
Yeah, gonna
Uh,
go ahead and retrieve that Anakin Skywalker into his hand. This is where established, though, I think is going to be a big liability because when that Death Star 2 site comes out and Yoda warps over and he puts a couple guys there, at some point he can split over to that Death Star 2 docking bay too. I
yeah.
guess it won't matter that if it's a battleground, if Joker King's already at 2 battlegrounds, it doesn't really matter. Um,
I don't think I've
actually,
seen that part of the text really come up before. Controlled by opponent are battlegrounds. Okay.
it might actually work in his favor in this case because he could put 5d6 over on the Death Star 2 docking bay and it'd reduce both the drains. Even if 5d6 was like running from a sorry about the mess weapon by running over to the Death Star docking bay, it'd still be a battleground that he'd
Right.
be at. It'd still be -1ing it. So, but in general,
Well, but then he can just run. Joker King can just run away then, as long as he doesn't control the Death Star 2 docking bay. Then it's not a battleground.
right. But then on Darkseid's turn, they'll just follow.
Well, sure, but then they can't. But then he's not running away from.
Oh,
Sorry about the mess, right? So
sure. Then you can mess him.
yeah,
That makes sense. There's probably too many to. Sorry about the mess. He's probably packing 5 of them. If he is going to do the
that's
force servitude stuff, we haven't seen that, but he did just draw up 17 again. You see an Erica Virtual. That's not a card you'd often see in ISB. In a more space build deck in general, ISB or not, you might see non-virtual to
yeah.
block a drain. Virtual is best against. Well, okay, you know why she's in there. I think Joker King plays a lot of old allies, and when he has been playing in the
Mm-hmm.
OCS the last couple months, I think he's pretty much exclusively played court and old allies.
Yeah.
And so
Lenny's got that
she's
right too. The Arc of E is also excellent tech against Legend for the
yeah, yeah.
for the
Oh,
same reason. For the same reason. So
For sure, she's Legend Tech, but I don't think she's in here for Legend Tech. I think she's in here because Joker King plays Old Allies a bunch, and if he can just sit her with a stack of ISB agents and ping retrieve.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure, Lenny. We definitely agree. Archive is excellent tech against Legend. I think like against Legend or Old Allies, Archive makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Just not
They're just
not this
never gonna
deck
have
though.
to-
So
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, in WAP and Hyperdrive, and there's plenty of decks where they just can't even play Luke, and she's great because she's just a free retrieval.
yeah,
But specifically, I'm saying I think it's for the Old Allies because that's what Joker King has played, 10 games worth
right,
with in the OCS over the last 2 months
right,
or
right.
whatever it is. So, right now, Adam Trunzo has done 0 net damage between the objective retrieve and the once per game prophecy retrieve. Isard gets a
Oh,
stack on conflict.
to place relatively unprotected out of play.
Yeah, it was just a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a 7, but it was basically saying, "Hey, I don't want to give you a card back. We'll just trade 1-for-1." I think he's trying to cut diff already. I mean, like this is not going great.
yeah,
I mean, they're both doing 2 damage, but that's only because Joker King's not adding 1 with his saber, and they're both and Light's retrieving 1. Dark will retrieve 1 soon when they flip. So they're kind of netting the same, but Light has played way less cards to table.
mm-hmm.
In fact, they have the same in hand right now, and it's Light is up by 10, and they're about to lose 2, so that'll make it 8. And if Dark flips and retrieve 1, that'll be 7. But then it'll be Light's turn to do damage. So Dark's quite a bit behind. They're going to need to get a ship. Adam's going to need to deploy something to Fondor, a Star Destroyer with get some more guys going and set up a second drain.
Yeah. And it almost goes Joker King did at one point use Hear Me Baby to get simple tricks, so stacking a fourth ISB agent on the Vengeance isn't gonna get Adam very far here.
Right. It won't let him retrieve when he flips. He'll need to go to that second system. I'm really surprised there's no Kashyyyk pull. Because even with Shiranu, drains of 2 and 2 are pretty lackluster in this meta.
Yeah.
Even in a stack meta where one location can easily do that much or more, and we've got a lot of decks like HITCO that can go to 2. They can go to that Death Star site.
Yeah.
Kirby might get a ping, or Bela Luke, and he might get a few pings, but he's not an ISB agent, so he's kind of an odd choice for this deck. Unless you're doing some kind of... Oh, you know why he's in here, I bet. If this is the Forced Servitude version, which we still haven't seen that, and maybe it's not. Maybe Guri's just to cap destinies, and there's not a bunch of 5d6s.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is that version, then Imperial Code Cylinder...
Yeah.
Is that the thing that does stuff with captains?
Yeah.
And it can also be used to cancel a drain?
Oh yes, it is with I believe I think Forced Servitude actually does let you cancel drains
You
with
can use
Imperial Code
Imperial Code
Cylinder.
Cylinder to cancel a drain where you have a droid. So you deploy 5d6 in front of them, and then you just like loop that with Forlom and cancel the drain. So you cancel one, and the other one you lose a 5d6 to Forced Servitude and retrieve it with the objective, and you kind of lock out all their damage. And it also pulls captains and does stuff with them. So you run a Captain Curry because he can do ping damage, and you're running Code Cylinder anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
But I don't know. I don't know at this point that he has the Forced Servitude in here, because the cards we're seeing come out, you can't fit it all. You can't fit Erica and a laser cannon battery that we just saw go lost from hand, and Alana Dobry that we just saw go lost from hand. You can't be fitting all these cards. If you're doing a Forced Servitude build, you kind of sell out to to add in those extra droids and the force servitudes and things like that, and the Imperial Code cylinders and all that. So I don't think we're going to see the force servitude. I think the Guri was a one-off thing that kind of threw us off thinking that direction.
Yeah.
Um,
I almost wonder. Well, Lenny, what we were thinking is that Force Servitude allows Imperial Code Cylinder to cancel drains. Not that Code Cylinder itself does it.
yeah, Lenny, if you look up force servitude.
It's too far back in the. Okay. I was just
Yeah,
thinking, I don't remember if the Guri was lost from reserve or from hand.
it was from reserve.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, because I was
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was wondering if he lost it from hand intentionally to throw
I could
jokerking off.
scroll up and see it says pull Treatum from hand and Guri from reserve deck.
Okay. All right.
So I think that was just coincidence.
Yeah.
But I think it's a one-off. Another Old Allies tech also. Like you put her there, and Old Allies is pretty bad in space if they don't get Poe and Admiral Uo and Solo's ad, and you know,
right.
if you just cap them to one.
Lenny says, weird, I don't think I had any idea Force Servitude had that text. I don't think I've ever had it come up, but
yeah, I think if you look at the Charlie build of the 5d6, the Saturday Day 2 version had some of them, and the idea is really neat. If you've got a bunch of 5d6 and you throw one in front of them, and you can loop that with Forlom, you're also looping, potentially Voyeur, depending on what they grab. So you play one Voyeur, you play like one or two code cylinders.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a cool build and a scary one to consider when you were, if you're waffling between playing HITCO or Legend. Neither one of those decks wants to see the Force Servitude thing.
Yeah. I think Legend's okay. It's so much has to go right for that to work for the ISB when you split to the two sites where they've got to have one where they're reducing, and then there's too much they want to Forlom into hand. They want to Forlom their code cylinder to cancel it. They want to Forlom the 5d6 that they just retrieve with their objective so that they can lose that again with Force Servitude. They need to get a lot of like components going all at the same time to lock you out, and it's really hard to do. Get going in time and everything. It's fragile.
Yeah, yeah. Lenny's asking how you stop 5d6 from getting sorry.
So if they're sorry about the mess, you just play another one and retrieve it with your objective. You're just like, whatever. Yeah. All right. So we see another drain. We still don't see another ship from Adam. There we go. All right. So we got Executor. I think he's just going to have to leave that with no pilots. And that way you can pay to retrieve with his objective this turn. We see Aim High coming out. Chiranu doesn't require it. It's just a Star Destroyer controlled by a Star Destroyer. So Executor alone can drain 2 there. And you just... Oh, they don't have a ship. You don't want to pay 1 to move, and then you can't retrieve with ISB. You can't ship like it doesn't.
I mean, I guess you could, or no, Founder's too far. Or no, Founder's. I guess you could use both your force to move. Oh no, because it'd be 3 force to ship dock.
Yeah, you can't move ship dock and move back, and then you wouldn't get to retrieve with the object. Oh, he's doing it anyway. Why? Leave the Executor naked. At this point, you're far enough behind. You leave the Executor. You go, if you have it, you have it. And you go ahead and retrieve with the objective. And then next turn, you can do 2 and 2. And then you can do your shuffle and that sort of stuff. But
yeah. I mean, I think now also, like, he's kind of sort of telegraphed how the next turn is going to have to go for him.
Sure.
And so now, I mean, Joker King has activated almost his entire deck. He's going to take that one last card into hand with his objective and then have 25 force to work with after draining.
Yeah, but he might not take that card into hand if he last turn, if he used Like My Father before he drained and then paid to drain, then he knows what the bottom card is because it was the card he put down with Like My Father. But it doesn't look like he did if I scroll up.
Yeah.
But that would be the only reason why he wouldn't peek and take it. I think
Joker. Although he didn't anyway, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's playing too conservatively. Like, I don't know why he didn't set that up we're on light side turn 6, and he just deployed that when clearly he's facing against a space deck that's just. I would have set that up like 3 turns ago, on light side turn. Maybe not turn 2, but turn 3 when he played that Lando, I might have just like gone, all right, I'm just gonna move Yoda over and see. And here I don't know that Chewie's necessary. I would just move Yoda over. I'd keep that Chewie in your hand, have Luke and Lando at 1, and Obi and Yoda at the other. He's Joker King. He's just playing really conservatively, and that's fine. He knows he's ahead in the game, and so he just doesn't want anything to go wrong. But I mean, Tarkin and Callus still are not on the table, so he's aware there's a threat there.
Yeah, I mean, with the 2 weapons, though, and you have to assume there's like a clash and a sorry about the mess in hand now.
Right. Now,
oh.
He's opening somewhere. What is he doing? I mean, maybe you head to the castle with Luke?
Who's moving?
Lando is going to the Death Star. I don't understand that.
Okay.
He tempted to grab that Odin, but he didn't.
I mean, I guess this is still fine. I mean, I like, as we discussed before, right? Like, Yoda and Luke are pretty secure by themselves. They don't really need Lando. Sure. So, like, I feel like there's just no chance of losing.
I mean, yeah, I would have gone to the castle. Like I said, I think he's playing really conservatively, and I think he should have split to 2 sites 3 turns ago, and now he should be split into 3 sites. And yeah, I would have tossed Luke over to the castle and been like, "Hey, you want to come at?" And maybe gone Chewie with Lando and move Yoda to be with Obi, something like that.
Decrepidal is asking how you go to the castle with Odin. Odin can go to any exterior or battleground site. So the castle is an exterior site. So you can Odin over to the castle.
Yeah.
By playing Odin, yes. I actually don't remember now. You would have been able to Nabrin there too. So yeah.
Right. You can look the rest order out between exterior sites in owner's move phase. So either one would have worked. But he would not have been able to Nabrin to that Death Star Chasm walkway.
Right. If he's even playing Nabrin, which is not clear, I suppose.
Kurgi peaks.
There's nothing with it. Adam did activate all of his force, so he saved 3, but not necessarily intentionally.
Yeah, he activated as much as he could. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can attack either of those sites with...
No.
Because, like you said, he's probably got Clash, Sorry, maybe a Gift to the Mentor.
Yeah, there's like almost... I feel like you have to assume there's a Clash and a Sorry about the mess. You know for
sure... Skywalker, yeah, there could be a Help Me OBV.
Yeah, I think you know for sure that there's an Anakin Skywalker in hand, because I think he retrieved it into hand with the objective a long time ago.
Yeah, and never lost it back. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I don't feel like you can attack either of these battleground sites. Okay, see, he's got a spaceport document to create his own battleground site.
Yeah. And he can shuttle down some characters. And see, this is where if you hadn't deployed that Chewie, you'd be a lot happier, because you'd have that in hand to go attack. And further, if you hadn't used that Odin, you'd have that in hand to go attack. Or further, if you were over at the castle, he'd have to attack you and deal with that. Well, I assume we're going to see these Star Destroyers ship dock and split up.
Yeah.
Maybe some dudes shuttle down. So Dark's looking at drains of 222. And they did manage to flip light back with that Lord Maul. Or 223. Maul and the ISB agent will add at the site.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 7 damage for dark plus 1 retrieval with the objective versus um, we haven't seen a cold feet, right? So we're not going to see a resistance. I think
Yeah.
at this point light has to start adding with that saber. So
Yeah.
say
I think you have to just if he has Into the Bureaucrats, he has Into the Bureaucrats, and just like
right, and then you abandon the village
yeah,
with
you can
or
move
whatever.
Yoda over.
Yeah. This turn was strong for Adam. This really turned it around, and I think part of the reason is Joker King was going so slow. He just let Adam back into it without keeping the pressure on by not deploying his second sight until turn 6. He was you know just
Yeah.
letting Adam take his time to drop to 17 multiple different times to get what he needed, and now Adam's looking pretty good.
I guess the only caveat there is I'm thinking about because Joker can got to go through his whole deck to find most anything that he might want. So I would certainly assume that there's like solo Rey Ahsoka in hand or something along those lines.
Yeah, Leia maybe.
Yeah, so like the attack against them at the spaceport docking bay is going to be pretty rough. Although the spaceport docking bay does add attacks to the pilots, as I remember.
Yeah.
Pilots deploy +1.
Right. If you pull the Unita shield, he does still have a shield pull. It will give him a +1 activation
Hmm.
and will let rebels deploy -2, I believe. But the people we just named who he probably has left
Right, are not
aren't
rebels.
rebels.
Yeah.
We've got General Leia, we've got Solo, we've got EVP Ray, none of which are rebels. Like maybe you've got a Corn. Ahsoka's a rebel. So you may still want to pull that Unita. He would have wanted to do it on Adam's turn though, so he got the generation from it.
Yeah.
Uh, but he's also going to have 21 force. So
I mean, of course, I guess if you're considering that way though, like you maybe should have played Rey instead of Obi-Wan to the. I don't know. That's probably thinking a little too far of chess moves 7 turns down the line.
yeah, if he has a spaceport docking bay, then I pull Unita sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ray's good to save for an attack if he does go somewhere because her retrieval.
Right, right.
Yeah, I mean if we see coming down to that site, General Leia, Ray, and like Solo, someone else, clash maul, battle, hit someone, clear another one or two with Destiny, or maybe we see a Padme, whatever.
Yeah,
Clear a lot of that stuff out, plus retrieve with Leia, plus retrieve with Ray. Um, that'd be a good turn
yeah.
for the late side.
Saved 5 force after rescuing and activating.
Yep, he won't get the objective peak now that he's on the front side. He will get to battle free if he does.
Yeah.
Battle. I think you got to add with the saber.
Yeah.
Okay, he finally does here. So we'll see if the end of the bureaucrat's in there. But I'm guessing at this point it is not. And which means Joker King could have been adding all along. But he's like we said, playing safe.
Adam just lost from reserve, so we got I can't shake him,
All
Wolfie
three
Laram,
from
and Poltridium.
yeah, and we did not see an end of the bureaucrat.
Yep.
Um, let's hope Joker King, if he is planning to attack, remembers that pilots deploy +1 text.
Yep.
We see
Admiral.
the Vader lost. It's a good one to pull with the castle, but one overlooked fact about the discussion of the castle pulling Vader in one-off copies of like Watto or ISB is that a lot of times you activate 3/4 of your deck by a few turns in, and the Vader's never even in there to pull.
Yeah, yeah. I encountered that a lot when I was playing the Watto deck that ran that engine. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to pull Vader this turn because I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to again. Like, it's like he's in there now, and I'm activating about half my deck. Like, let's do it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ming, I agree. Both players are playing very conservative. I think the ship should have been split up.
Oh yeah, he. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I was misunderstanding the graphic here. General Navar and Paul Tritium shuttled down. I thought they were on the Executor and they were just like positioned weird.
Oh, Yeah,
Yeah, I would agree, though. I don't know why the ships didn't split up. I guess maybe it's just force usage.
he didn't. Yeah, he didn't want to spend another force to ship dock and another one to move. He
Yeah,
did pay one to retrieve, but see, rather than paying the one to retrieve, I would have paid one to dock him, and then the last one that he had saved to split him up. Rather than you pay one to retrieve or one to move away, you can drain two. Doing two is better than retrieving one.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't
So
know.
the
Maybe
choice,
still worried about a ship,
so
but
the choice of characters here would suggest, right? General Navar would mean there's
a
probably a
command on the
command.
ground.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Pull Treatum to subtract 3 attrition.
yeah.
Joker King didn't do anything but drain.
That's bizarre.
He's now in his move phase.
I mean, okay,
Over
so
deployed and wasted his Odin, just way reinforcing those sites too much. So now Dark is going to go ahead. They're going to drain 3 and 2, and then deploy something probably, but otherwise ship dock and split those up and then retrieve one.
yeah,
So we're looking. Dark's just moved into a pretty good math advantage, but they are still quite a bit behind right now. The life force totals. Joker King is up 4 in his hand, and he's got 28 to 13. So he's up by 15 life force plus 4 in hand. He's up by 19. And it is about to be Dark's going to do 5 and retrieve 1. That's 6. That'll cut it to 13. But he's just Adam's quite far behind because he's deployed way more and he's done less.
yeah. I
And
I mean, I feel like Joker King may be looking at this as just deciding to drain race, and I don't know that.
I think it's going to cost him more diff if he was
Yeah,
blocking that drain right now. And he's just taking 2 then, if he could afford to drain and drop like 3 guys there and just
yeah,
you don't even need the battle. Just wait and then clash Maul in his deploy phase.
yeah.
Like force him to commit more too. Oh, you're gonna deploy your Tarkin, you're gonna deploy your Kalash, you're gonna like great, that's all lost cards. Oh, he's Odining a bunch of dudes. So he is gonna block the drain. He's gonna pay 6 for that Odin.
DK Wood saying, "I'm betting he has virgins for the docking bay." Oh, oh, oh! You're betting that Joker King has virgins.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. HITCO does sometimes play Virgins for Hunt Down V.
Yeah.
Uh, that's an interesting choice of who to move.
Hmm.
I don't like that. I mean, I'm assuming he has a gift of the mentor is my thought, but he's abandoning his drain 3 site to keep his drain 2 site, and he's sending 2 characters who are fine versus 3 characters who are really good. Um,
So, let's see.
I don't like that choice of who he Odined.
Yeah, I mean, my okay. Let me think. So, yeah, no,
I mean,
I think I'm with you.
would you use Anakin Skywalker and exclude Pull Treatum? I mean, if he's got a gift of the mentor and he wants to draw extra destinies, that's fun. But I mean, having Lando over there is nice because you can retrieve if he battles you, and extra weapons, and you just clear through that stuff.
Decreplo, you're right that the dark side characters can just docking bay transit away, but the none of the other docking bays are battlegrounds, so they'd be abandoning the only battleground site that he can occupy, and then giving
No,
up a
they're
drain of.
all battlegrounds with establish.
No, no, no.
Um,
They're only battlegrounds if Lightside controls them. So if
oh,
he
he's saying Dark could transit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, no, no. He's saying the Death Star characters,
Oh,
not
okay.
Dark Side. He meant Death Star. So they can, and yeah, they could, but it's going to take them so many turns. First, all 3 have to move to the Death Star docking bay.
Right.
Then they have to pay 8 force to transit over the next turn. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
and
I
he had
mean,
the Odin in hand. It's just
I mean, it's
yeah.
true. It's true that they could. As I'm thinking through it, man, he lost a Clash from Muse and a Sorry from Reserve. All right. Well, I feel like I read his hand totally wrong.
Yeah, I mean, gift to the mentor is what I'm putting him on having. That's
Yeah,
why the Yoda's still with him. That's why he sent those guys over. Is he wants to draw like 5, 5, 6 and add 1 to each with like my father and clear out like 4 dudes.
yeah. I mean, especially after losing those two cards, Like if he had Clash Sorry in hand, then I'm with you. He should have moved the two weapons and Lando over, because then you clash them all. Sorry about the mess, like General Neva or
Regardless,
whatever.
I'd
Right?
still
Like, yeah.
rather have two weapons in an extra Destiny. And I'd rather keep my Drain 3 site than my Drain 2 site.
Sure. Yeah. The drain three site. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
But here's the thing. Right now, Adam's at 20 hand in life. If Joker King had deployed that site earlier and then maybe even gone to the castle, he'd be only down under 15. He'd be at like 12 total hand in life right now.
Yeah.
He'd have like 3 cards in hand and he'd have like 9 in force and reserve. And he'd be so unable to do what he wanted in terms of paying to deploy and paying to ship dock or shuttle or
Yeah. And I think the other. Oh, I think I lost.
13 right now or whatever it
Oh.
is.
Okay.
But he still has enough force to like to do things and save to draw destiny. And whereas if he had eaten an extra like 6, he just wouldn't be able to really even mount a comeback.
Yeah.
I mean, in Joker King, to be fair, still has 37 hand in life. So he'll win this game. Okay, we see a second clash on Kirk Canos so that he can't cancel something in battle. So that indicates a sorry about the mess to me. Maybe a blaster deflection for the mall.
Yeah.
Um,
Chris was saying a sense for Imperial Command.
yeah, that's another. Yeah, sense command so you can get your gift of the mentor through. Um,
Why is it?
Clashing Maul is tempting there though.
Yeah. I mean, I assume there's a blaster deflection in hand.
Yeah, we did see him lose one from hand. Maybe he was anticipating no weapons. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
that's a cool graphic. I'm a
The clashed one.
Yeah, the Clash one. I
Yeah.
switched over to the Twitch to see the chat, and it's got the little. It looks almost like the light side force icon on locations.
Yeah. I saw it in another game that I was testing out the interface. It worked like on barrier also.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, Joe, your video blinked there for a second, so I don't have your camera anymore.
Okay.
I
My
don't know
Discord does
why.
that. Yeah. No, it's my Discord. After about 45 minutes, it it stops the video.
Interestingly,
I don't know why.
Dan does exactly the same thing, so I don't know why. But all right,
I don't
so
know why. I feel like it's like a Discord limit.
Adam is
Something.
going to Lana over everybody to the Ewok village except for Kirkanos because he
Oh,
can't.
yep. Grab that and sense it.
It only is immune to sense for the protection one, right? Yeah, or cancel
Yeah.
disarmed. Yeah. Another card that's changing.
I guess you don't need to grab it if you sense it. There's no oppressive or anything. There's no way for Dark to get that back.
Yeah.
Short of a no escape, which seems unlikely.
I mean, I guess
Okay.
you might be worried about him just having another one.
Yeah, but then it makes it cost 2 more, I guess. No, didn't no sense.
Just grabbing.
Yeah. I'm surprised if Adam's plan was to just run. Well, maybe it wasn't until Kerr got clashed,
Yeah.
but if Adams was thinking about potentially running, that he didn't grab the Odin.
Hmm.
Like, what are you saving to grab it for? The Anakin Skywalker, just because they can relocate prophecy? Who cares? Like,
Well, I guess
yeah,
we'll
I mean,
see. We'll see now if that's what he's saving his grabber for.
yeah,
Yeah.
he did. I think I would have rather had Odin. But okay, so we'll see.
I mean, as we were saying before, Anakin Skywalker V is pretty good in this matchup, although it's unclear to me that we're going to actually have a battle involving Luke, so I don't know that that's going to matter.
Yeah,
Um, but I think
right.
Anakin's
I
also
mean,
more cyclable, so maybe.
I think it's really good if they have a garrison, but otherwise, like, I mean, yeah, you can cancel Tarkin's text or whatever, but like in a battle here against any of these characters, if suddenly he Nabrined over, like, and he paid 2 for another Anakin, what would you even do with it? Add a Destiny to attrition, probably. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's not
um,
much. I
Right.
mean, you could. I guess you can cancel Paul Tradian's tax. But that's about as good as adding a Destiny to attrition. That's probably less good than adding a Destiny to attrition, right?
Right. Right. Um,
All right. So he did finally split up the ships, move guys
right.
around.
And now Adam's threatening again 322 7 plus retrieve. And Light's threatening 3 5 once he clears that cur, or once the cur Canos docking bay transits away or whatever.
Yeah.
He'll be doing 5 versus 7. And Dark's retrieving 1 and Light is not. Now that Light's flip back. So
Now Yoda can bounce back over though, because he hasn't used his relocate tax. So like
right, but
he could add like Ray solo move Yoda over or something like that.
mhm. Yeah, fair. So we see Command, Stalker, and Tarkin all come off reserve.
Oh, command
Yeah.
came from hand.
Oh, you're right. Command from hand. Stalker and Tarkin from reserve.
Oh,
Okay, so we're gonna see a sorry here. See if there's an imbalance combo. Doesn't look like it. So Kerr will die and Light will drain for another 2. And that will relocate Prophecy. Do you have a Jedi Lev? Take her into hand? Nope. So, he lost Clash off of used and Sorry off of reserve, and you're like, I totally misread his hand. And then
and he just
within
had another one
turn,
of each.
he
Yeah.
played a second Clash and a second Sorry. So
Yeah.
he did have both in hand. He also had duplicates.
Yep. Two sorry about the mess is pretty common. Two clash is pretty good though.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, even like even if he like just has Ray and moves Yoda over, like that's good enough to block that drain.
Right. Dark's not going to have anything that can take either one of them out of the battle. Like he's not going to have a Doctor E to go with that Lord Maul. He's not going to have a sniper,
Yeah.
or a You Are Beaten or anything like that. So Rey and Yoda together, Yoda will be power 6, Rey's 5. That's 11. And even if he hits one of them, the other one's forfeit 7. That's 18 versus 18 right there. So it's
But
pretty
he's
close to a stalemate.
not doing any of that. He's just drawing more cards.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I would have moved over to the Death Star 2 docking bay with like Obi-Wan.
Right.
Like he's
Well,
got
who's he going to attack you with 4 cards in hand
and
and
10
a
down.
lot of his
Yeah.
stuff committed? Yeah. Yeah. That prophecy is going to relocate as Dark does 7 and then retrieves 1. So let's see. Right now, Light's at 22 to 10. So they're up by 12 plus 8 in hand. So they're up by 20, but they're going to eat 7. So they'll be up by 13 and Dark will retrieve 1. So Light will be up by 12. And then they'll do 4. So Light's still solidly ahead, looking like potentially a double-digit win, especially if they can really start stopping that ground drain.
Yeah.
It'll depend on how long Dark can hang on.
So we lost a saber and a sense from hand.
I don't like losing that sense. There's no sack protection whatsoever. Like if any interrupts are played at all.
Yeah, you'd want to sense them.
Command, Lana, anything, yeah.
The force is strong with this one from hand.
Okay.
Non-V.
So that's probably one reason why he wanted Luke over
Yeah.
at the spaceport docking bay so he could add versus Moff Gideon and get an extra
this?
destiny.
Okay, yeah.
Alter.
He had the altar also, yeah.
Loses Ray from use pile, which is probably disappointing for him. It was the one he used with Lando, used for Lando's upkeep. If he had just drawn one more, she would be in hand.
Yeah.
I think he drew up to exactly 12 and then stopped.
Oh, he does have the virgins.
Yeah. I I think he drew up to exactly 12 and then stopped. But at this point, are you scared of Monarch? Like, why not just draw more?
Yeah.
I mean, he's trying to keep his diff as high as possible, but he's gonna be losing more than the 7 in hand. So, I mean, he's losing from reserve right now. So
Yeah.
he could have afforded to draw a few more. If he doesn't come down next turn with Ray and multiple stuff, I think it was a mistake not drawing enough.
Yeah. I'm curious too if you have the Virgins. I
Yep.
kind of feel like you wouldn't. Well, I don't know. A lot happened in between. I was thinking, like, I kind of feel like you leave them alone at their battleground site if you have a Virgins.
Their site. But then you're taking your no, because you want to force the issue, make them deploy more cards to fight you, that sort of stuff.
Mm,
Because if you left him alone and you Virgins that docking bay, Dark would be doing 2-2-1. So they'd be doing 5 and retrieving 1, and you'd be sitting doing 5 and retrieving 0. So basically they're ahead by 1 on the math, even with Virgins out. And yeah, it takes them. They're still losing because they're so far behind. But if you could block that drain, yeah, I don't know. That's it.
yeah, that's fair though. Ironically, the image of the Dark Lord coming out after he just pitched the altar.
Yeah, yeah, that's frustrating.
I wonder what Joker King is kept in hand. So like,
I don't like the image. Oh, the image can't go on Chasm Walkway because it's a mobile
yeah,
site, not a
yeah.
final site. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, I mean, if he was over at the castle for the last like 3 turns too. Yeah, like if he had the Virgins and just ignored the spaceport docking bay and split over to the castle
Yeah.
with his Odin.
Adam
I don't know. He's
is drawing.
hopefully he's got another Odin by now because
I wonder if
nope.
that's what he's drawing to. Oh,
He
he
activated
activated
all his
everything.
force. So he's not unless he accidentally did that and needs a revert, he's not Odining this turn. So
Yeah.
um I think he just got in the mindset a lot of people do of I'm at 12 cards in hand, so I have to stop instead of I don't have what I need to help me win this game, so I need to keep going.
Yeah.
And so Light's now doing 3 to Dark's 7 and 1 retrieval. So Dark's doing 8 net versus 3. So five net gain
Yeah.
every round. And yeah, they're low. Dark's down to 11 total hand and life. But with the retrieval, Light's only doing 3. That's like 5 rounds for Dark, which is 5 times the 7 they're doing is 35 more than Light has. Like we're
Yeah.
looking at a win for Dark with this math.
I I would guess that it's a character to this Endor site or not. Um, I don't understand that.
Why?
Yeah, that doesn't make
I
sense to
mean,
me.
I assume he doesn't have enough guys in hand to attack that, so he's going to go there and then split over to this docking bay.
Yeah.
But that docking bay is a drain of 1. It doesn't get you over to the Ewok village. Um,
Yeah, like I would have deployed whatever character you had to the. Oh, I don't know. I guess if it's like Padme just doesn't really move the needle at all. So I mean, I guess there's that. But I
why
was
even deploy her?
yeah, like I was assuming it was a Ray. Like I was thinking like Ray to the Endor hut, and then move Yoda over like we talked about before, and then you could even
Right.
like docking bay transit Luke over to the Coruscant docking bay, so you're draining for 2.
Right. Dark can then shuttle down though.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. I mean, he can shuttle down, but with what? Like he only has these two
Yeah,
dinky
can we
dudes, and
start?
then like Padme can attack them. Like
Right. Well, here Dark and Light pulled wise advice instead of a resistance earlier, ultimatum. I
yeah.
think they have one more shield
He
pull because they've used Hear Me Baby twice.
yeah.
So
So
they should pull.
he pulled the wise advice with "Hear Me, Baby," so he still
Yeah,
has a
so he
shield
should
pull.
go ultimatum here. And with that Virgins out, Dark Dark would be doing 2-2-1. Dark would do 5 here if he pulls the ultimatum, 6 if he does not.
Against doing 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He may not know the docking bay is a battleground. I mean, that's true. He might not. That's, like I said it before, that's text that I haven't
Well,
seen come up too often before, um, but I'm new, so you know.
yeah, that text is why I didn't play ISB at Worlds.
Hmm.
That one line is
Because of stuff like
my
this.
no, my team had a pretty good ISB build, but it lost to Legend because Legend could take over its docking base.
Hmm.
Um, if Legend had the right game plan, and so I audibled to Hunt Down V last minute.
Well, that worked out pretty well for you.
It,
So
it worked out. I thought Hunt Down was a garbage deck, but I did not have any other dark side, so I played like 2 half aborted playtest games. Like the first few turns was like, all right, whatever, submit it.
we lost a Jedi's
But
resilience from hand and under attack to the terrain at Mustafar. We still don't have the resistance shield, so
no, he clearly hasn't thought of that or doesn't know it's a battleground.
yeah.
Because yeah, he does have the shield pull.
I feel like not knowing it's a battleground is probably more likely.
Right. Yeah, I think this all comes to Joker King playing super conservative. You put more pressure early, and then
Yeah.
not drawing, being conservative in his drawing. Draw for that Ray. Draw for that. Like if he had dropped Ray, Padme, and relocated Yoda over, if he had drawn one more the turn before, where we saw him lose Ray from used, that was the Lando upkeep,
Mm-hmm.
and he had drawn one more to 13, and then dropped Ray, Padme, Yoda, and at least blocked the drain and forced Dark to deploy more cards too. It'd be big.
Yeah.
That spaceport, I mean, Adam's playing well. That spaceport, he's taking advantage of the openings that Joker King's given him.
Yeah.
Playing the spaceport docking bay and the Lord Maul is good deck building. Like I like that he has the ability to put on high damage. I'm a little skeptical that there's no Kashyyyk in here. Like I don't know that Fondors and Establish are needed. It sets you up a little quicker with your activation, but if that Establish was like an indoor shield, and you played Kashyyyk, and then you could get out your Chiranu more reliably. I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, there's a lot of options to go in the ISB build. Different ways that you can put all the pieces together. Like I think like commonly what I've seen the ISB builds currently is the like Imperial Enforcement ones that like wouldn't have any of the droids, wouldn't have Lord Maul, and just a bunch of troopers and stuff. And
Yeah, the summer 2020
yeah,
builds.
yeah,
Yeah, with strategic reserves and whatnot. He did have the altar for that though.
yep.
We see Captain Kirgy pinging a Luke off the top.
So we're down to 12 down for Joker King versus 7 down for Adam, and 7-4 in hand.
So lights up by only 7 now. They were up by like
15 at
20,
one point,
20.
something like
I
that.
think it was 20, and then Dark was going to do a round of damage. Put it at like 13. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like
So I'm thinking about the way that the game has played out, and I think perhaps the awkward thing for Joker King was that, like his draw just didn't give him characters, right? Because he's never played Array, even though there were many opportunities where playing Array would have been good. So
yeah,
like
we saw the Leia drawn for a Destiny.
yeah, he clearly just never drew Ray, never drew Leia, presumably never drew Solo, which I assume is in his deck. So like that's like maybe why he played the
Yeah.
Lando
I
because
mean,
he thought he just had to.
have Solo in hand, and he just didn't think Padme Solo can attack the village,
Sure,
which is
sure.
accurate.
Yeah,
But that's on him not drawing. I mean, we
yeah,
literally saw if he would have drawn one more past 12, he would have got the Ray.
yeah.
It
Well,
was just
and
him.
I was
If he
thinking about
didn't have
that.
the characters, draw for the characters.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that too because like being worried about Monarch, I guess is fine, but you're playing multiple senses, and you had Yoda in play, so I probably
And
just
we knew he
draw
had a
and
sense in hand because he ended up losing the sense and then the altar from hand.
yeah,
So in that course of drawing, he drew into sense and then stopped at 12.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, you just draw, make him play the Monarch, and then sense it. Like that's,
Right, but I don't think he doesn't have Monarch.
I would assume not also. Although, see now, I was like, well, that makes sense then. That like also adds more weight to sensing the masterful move way back when. Like we were thinking he was just
Sure.
sensing it to sense something, but if he's doing it to protect from Monarch, but then also then doesn't play into the fact that he did that, that's weird.
Sure.
So yeah,
And he
I don't
might
know.
have a Monarch because he does have the Masterful. It's not he's not running Get combos. If we'd seen Get combos, we'd know no Monarch.
Right.
He did have a Masterful, so he might have squeezed in a Monarch, but he would have pitched it long before then. He would have seen that Joker King's not drawn above 12 and been like, all right, this Monarch's useless.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so Light pays a drain. Light did save one this time, so maybe they have a Odin. They're not going to be able to afford 8 to Docking Bay Transit Obi over.
Right. They can't give up the drain damage. They have to do the drain of 1 here, right? It's too
Yeah,
close now. Well, I guess
I think
not.
we're looking at a single-digit win for someone, so it's going to really come down to game 2, which is tomorrow night after Hull Theater. Is that right? Or is that the other one?
There is certainly a game happening tomorrow night after Hollow Theater. I'm covering that one with Dan, but I don't remember which one it is.
I think it's game 2 of this one.
That sounds likely.
All
I
right.
should be able to. I should just know this, I think.
All right. So we see the Odin. Who's he Odining? It should be Luke and Yoda, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a better choice because you don't want to give up your Drain 3 Chasm Walkway. And
It is game 2 of this match that's happening
okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So if you are watching this tomorrow night, Hollow Theater is generally about 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific.
Yep.
So that's 9 to 10 Eastern. And in this game, approximately, and then this game will start shortly thereafter, game 2 of this match. All right. So Dark now is only going to do 3 this turn because of that Vergence. All right, getting that second Odin, and see, this. Adam's been playing fairly well, but not grabbing that Odin was just a mistake. Anakin Skywalker, who cares? He relocated a prophecy, big whoop. Like even if he had drawn into another one and played it one more time, and you didn't grab it, and you played it again to relocate the prophecy a different time, so you could drain one more. That does 1 damage to you, no big deal. That Odin blocking your drain and essentially really limiting the damage you can do before Light kills you. Is a lot bigger deal. I think the Odin should have been grabbed both times it was played, but especially when he played it the second time to go. The first time he sent Lando over, you're like, okay. Second time when he sent Luke and Yoda, you should have just been like, nope, grabbing that. But he saved it, and then that same turn or the next turn, he grabbed Anakin Skywalker, and yeah. Hey, we see another Rey, another Rey lost. She was again Lando's upkeep. Lando is sacrificing Rays all over the place. And then we see the Odin top decked.
Interesting that he's losing from reserve and not from hand here.
Yeah, there's a gift to the mentor from reserve, so he didn't have that either in hand, unless he's playing 2 copies. Fergie's gonna take.
He is playing 2 Yodas because he lost a Yoda very early, so 2 gift to the mentors would kind of go along with that.
With 2 Yodas and 2 Obis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tend to find, and I've even cut the gift to the mentor. I would never run more than 1.
I've gone back and forth between 0 and 1 in my HITCO.
At least in this, at one point I had 2 like along before in pre-worlds testing because I was like, oh, it's so good. You relocate Yoda and he's always with Luke and you're always going to get 2, but they never end up in battles together.
Yeah.
So
they just don't attack you. Yeah.
Yeah. So running one of is like, yeah, it seems okay. You sometimes randomly it'll happen, but 2, it's just like it's not a common enough occurrence to spend 2 deck slots on.
Yeah, it always ended up being just like
If
I need to cut it for something.
instead of lose one to upload a saber was lose one to retrieve a saber, I would run 2.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, as is, it's just meh. All right, so we're gonna see a Kurgi and we're gonna see a shuttle down. Not Kurgi, Callus, a Callus and a shuttle down, and probably retrieve. One to shuttle, one to retrieve, and
I mean, you could shuttle both of them down at this point, right?
yeah, sure. In case there is a ray or something. So 2 to shuttle, 1 to
Well, also,
retrieve.
Kurgi's not a ISB agent, right? So you'd have to shuttle down. Oh, I guess you could
Yeah,
leave Kurgi on the ship and
you
then. Okay,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was
Yeah,
thinking you'd shuttle down Kurgi. I was like, you could, but no, shutting down Evax makes much more sense.
yeah.
All right, so we got 8 down and 2 in hand for Adam, 10 down, 6 in hand for jokerking.
So Light is going to get the enhanced prophecy drain. He'll get to drain for 3. Question is he going to pay to drain with OB2? Is he going to be fighting? Or we'll see as soon as we see how much he activates and how much he saves in his reserve.
Yeah.
I don't know that fighting does you a whole lot here. Like if you have any character in hand, I would rather drain it, activate it all, drain at both locations, and just drop a character in front of him and say go. I'm doing 4 on the ground to your 3 in space +1. Yours is free, but
So you're saying like if he has like a solo in hand, just activate everything, drain, put solo at like the Endor site or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Put solo with Luke and relocate Yoda. I don't know.
It is drain 2 at the docking bay. That's true.
Yeah.
So.
Right. No, and are you gonna really fight through all of that?
Not before the
Probably
game's
not.
over. Yeah, not before the game's over. So.
Right. Not if you're letting him drain for 5. I mean, you can withstand 3 turns of that, but it's going to take you 2 turns to clear all that crap. So by that point you've done that, the game's about over.
Yeah.
You might get one. You'll get 1 turn of drains there, but you won't even be able to afford to drain everywhere at that point. So yeah. All right. Wonder if he remembered he can battle free, or if he was counting on needing to save 1 to battle. He uses the Luke effect in his activate, and then I think we'll see a drain.
Certainly the 3. You have to drain for 3.
Yeah.
So he's saved exactly enough that he could drain, place solo, battle with solo for free, and then play Sorry About the Mess
Battle where?
at the Endor site. I mean,
Play,
like
play solo where?
add him to the Endor site.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, as we discussed, it doesn't really like get you very far, but
yeah. So you play solo, you can battle free, you hit sorry somebody,
and then you have 2 destinies
like it's okay,
back.
but that's Lost Force. All right. So we see Adam loses Blizzard 4 from hand, and then a Vandalay and 5d6 from reserve.
We're going to deploy, so there just has to be an extra character.
Who? Leia?
It could be General Leia, actually.
No, it's a solo. It's another lost card, essentially. You're conceding the drain 2 at the docking bay.
So I guess one thing here is if he doesn't battle, then he could Sorry About the Mess. Okay, whatever. Yeah. If he doesn't battle, he could Sorry About the Mess Lord. He could Sorry About the Mess Lord Maul, but
yeah, he needs to start chewing through cards.
Yeah.
He's only got 4 in reserve though, so like he can hit a dude.
And he can't gift. to add 2
No.
destinies.
Right.
Unless he has a smoke screen. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that could be really good if he's set these destinies up correctly.
Swinging it never.
Presumably to take the general or the command out, right?
I mean, does he care at this point? And do you think there's still you think that's a one card in his hand? He's only
Uh,
drawn one destiny anyway. Is he worried about Darkseid adding a destiny? Like,
yeah.
and not only that, he'd still get to play the command this turn. I guess if not, if he
Not if he's
sorries them.
sorry. Yeah, that's.
Sure.
I was
Okay.
assuming if he's swinging at a character now, it's to sorry them. But
But that means he loses an extra card to the sorry about the mess too.
yeah,
Because you have to lose one.
that yeah. Unless you're specifically worried about command, that does not seem like the one that you were supposed to hit. Because never also I think has the lowest forfeit.
He had sense in hand. Never's a 6. The patrol's a 4
Okay, so not
with the
quite the
rest
lowest,
order.
but
Yeah, but pull Treatum's a 7. Like, you hit Treatum. He had sense in hand. So even if there was a command, he could have hit Treatum and then just sensed it because he has the extra destiny.
yeah. And now he's letting. I don't get this. That's fine.
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Maul, what do you think about Maul swinging it solo?
I mean, I assume that Adam just either knows his destinies aren't very good or assumes they are, so he just wants to hit somebody.
Yeah, sure. But Solo's not immune anyway. Okay, he would have missed the other one. Solo's not
Yeah.
immune anyway. I guess it makes him well, but Solo's already burned. He's useless now. Other than if like Array came down, but
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he's
the,
hoping
the other guys are
to.
gonna be immune. Maybe if he outpowers him. Insertion planning.
Hmm.
Subtract 3 from opponent's total battle destiny.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Adam's thinking if I hit Solo and outpower him, he may have to peel a couple or lose Yoda or something.
Yeah.
Help me, Obi, to exclude pull Treatum. Isn't that a lost interrupt?
That
Yeah.
is a lost interrupt in this mode.
Okay. You just lost another card. Adds a destiny to lose another card. I mean, is he hoping to clear all this and then just beat up on the poor Treatum next turn so that he can end it a round earlier and save like 5 extra diff? That one
That's.
card in Darkseid's hand could very well be Gek.
Yeah.
So Light used up every card in their hand for that. But they're not going to cause any overflow past we've got forfeits of 6, 7, and 4. That's 17 plus 13 is 30. 34 minus the 3 from the total destiny, 31 to 26 that Dark covers. So they do cover everything.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess we don't know that jokerking knows what his destiny is. Or he could have searched with the shield there, right? So
yeah. Okay, he gets a conflict damage.
I'm just feeling like he should have killed Lord Maul since he would have hit him with all of those destinies. No, he did have the command in hand as the last card.
Hmm. Yeah, and he didn't want to use the destiny to sense it since he was going to draw an extra one with Forces Strong.
Yeah, yeah.
So 12. Maul and Patrol are 1 short. So he's all right. So Light's gonna get to flip back. They won't have the force to retrieve with secret plans. Okay, so Light is at 12. They're both at none in hand.
Yeah.
Light is at 12 to Dark 6. Dark's gonna do 2-2-1. So Light will be at 7 to 6, and then Dark will retrieve 1. It'll be 7 to 7. Prophecy will not move. Lando goes out of play, not being able to afford upkeep.
Yeah.
You need ability greater than 5, and Callus and Evax have exactly 5. So Prophecy won't move. So Light will do 3, but Dark's doing 5.
Light will do 3, but then do this battle,
3 plus 1
and
is
then
4. So light will do 4 and retrieve 1. Dark's doing 5 and retrieving 1. Yeah, light's gonna slightly win
yeah,
by
because
like 3.
this battle is gonna be is gonna be bad, right? So
I think light by 3. Well, oh yeah, there's no get, huh?
yeah,
We know that now.
yeah,
Yeah, and dark has none in hand to back that up. Okay, yeah, they went on overflow here. So then it'll be light by 7. Oh, Kirby. See what we got here. Nope. Kirby's a miss. Yeah, there's no docking bay, no way to docking bay transit them, move them, do anything.
yeah.
Yeah, even if. Oh, Adam said should have activated it all. Oh, and drawn up so that he had a smaller loss pile. Yeah, because he's not gonna
Yeah.
do any more damage to light. So yeah, he should have just activated it all and drawn up. Hopefully it will not come down to loss piles, but we're looking at a light win by 7.
Yep.
Light will pay 3 to drain 3. That'll put dark down to 3. Battle for 1, so light needs to activate 4. That'll leave him 3 in reserve. You treat him, and draw a destiny. Dark is power 5 and no destiny versus light's 11 and a destiny.
Yeah.
So
yeah, say Brim, like I don't think there's a way that he can survive the battle.
Even if light drew a 0, like my father adds 1, dark has to peel 3 and game over. So
yeah.
Oh, he did retrieve with the ISB. Light needs to not draw 1. I think he's fine. Or even a 1 might do it. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brim. The lack of the destiny draw is the killer there. It's 5 and no destiny against 11 and 1. So
yeah. So he hits treat him. Patrol covers 4, so that they cover 9 together. He's down by it's at 11 right now, and they cover 9. So that's 2. Like my father adds 1, that's 3.
Yeah,
and he has 4, so he needs to draw not a 0. So which I don't. He doesn't have any left. So
there's
even
no way
if he draws
a
1, he clears that. Maybe you know why he should have activated all, because Lana combo. If he had a second one,
to cover the 7 from the.
Yeah. Then you get 7 more forfeit. If you could draw it early enough and still have 2 saved,
to act.
You play the Lana combo, and then right now you're covering 16.
And then you would win.
Well,
not quite win now. Well, so you wouldn't win on the drain back, but you do enough damage to light that they can't
pay to drain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you win by like 2 or something, because you would have to stack the Lana.
Yeah.
That's only if.
I mean, a lot has to go right there. Yeah.
Did you top deck Alana?
I think Chris said that, and I think you're right. I think he's right. I think Alana got peeled early. I think it's probably 4th down in Lost or something along those lines.
Let me see. Transported using. Grabs it. I'm not seeing, but it probably is before my scroll doesn't go up enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So he ended up with like 4 or 5 more in lost pile than he should have.
Yeah.
If he just activated and drawn up.
Yep. All right. So, full win for jokerking by 7.
It was interesting. He said, Joker King says here, I suspect you had a hard time finding cards. Yeah, little post-game analysis. We saw Adam take forever to get out, a ship and get draining. He drew up to 17, deployed a bunch of stuff and went back down to like 10, and then drew up to 17 again, like 2 turns later. Light, meanwhile, just played super conservative and stacked that Luke, Yoda, Lando, and then finally only split to a second sight. The turn Dark was ready to go down to down to a site.
Yeah, and
Um,
I think you were definitely right about um, needing to spread earlier. Like I agree with you that Joker King playing conservatively makes sense because he wants to preserve, like he wants to avoid the possibility of a blowout, right? Like, but
I don't see
I
what could
think
have blown out Luke, Yoda,
yeah, and I think
Lando.
well,
Yeah.
and I think he gave Adam a window to get back into the game that he didn't necessarily need to.
Right. He won by 7, and I think he could have won this by 20.
Yeah,
Um, but Adam played well. He did good cat and mouse to avoid and really grind down differential.
yep, yeah, and credit to Adam for playing
I think
to the
I think
windows that he was given. Certainly,
yeah, I think not grabbing Odin was a mistake. But otherwise he played really well. I think he could have, in hindsight, and I did not see this at the time, played Callus to the Ewok village to add even more there, and then just shuttle down both guys um, to the spaceport docking bay.
Instead of playing Callus to the spaceport docking bay.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
Instead of doing that, go ahead and go over in front of the Ewok village to just last there longer, and then shuttle down both guys. But you are risking an EPP raid. Joker King just never drew enough.
Yeah.
That was the bigger mistake. I think not splitting early, was playing really conservative. I would have gone more aggressive there. I think that was a mistake, but the bigger mistake was just not drawing enough when he needed to. Playing, stopping at 12 when he didn't have the characters that he needed to attack with. Uh,
Yeah, and I wonder
so,
too. I mean, I know you mentioned that Joker King plays a lot of old allies,
mhm.
and I mean HITCO does play very differently than old allies. So I kind of wonder if a little bit of that is like maybe an experience in the
Right.
matchup, like
Could be.
recognizing right because I've been on the receiving end. I've seen the ISB be capable of dropping like a 30 power trooper assault beatdown on you, but
Right.
this build doesn't look like it could do that. And
Right. This is clearly a space build. When he's going Chiranu, he starts the Coruscant system. Like he's
yeah,
at like I said early on, he's probably got a spaceport docking bay or maybe a blockade flagship and maybe some walkers, but like he's not. It's clearly not a trooper beatdown.
yeah, yeah. So once you can assess that of their build, even without having seen their whole deck, I think then you do have the freedom to play more aggressively, um, and spread out a little bit more and dare them to try to deploy their stuff to the ground. Especially when Darkseid's digging to clearly find something. Um, yeah, I think that's like maybe a subtle thing, a subtle edge that he could have picked up
It helps to
earlier. Like
know what different builds look like
right,
and get clues from stuff like seeing established started seeing the Coruscant system started and yeah, and that totally influences the routes, the lines that you take.
yeah, for sure. All right,
Cool. All right, good casting with you, man.
yep.
Hope
Uh,
everyone enjoyed.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be on with Hollow Theater tomorrow, and I believe Lenny is going to be joining Dan and me on Hollow Theater tomorrow, and then Dan and I will be covering the second game of this match. All
Okay.
right. Have a good night, everybody.